Third tip, I mean, everyone's on the edge of their seats, having watched the other two videos over the past few weeks. We've already covered things like going shopping, basically, was part number one. What may not have been suitable 3 months ago may be, amazing for you guys right now. We've also talked about time to value, making sure that all your ducks are aligned internally, making sure you're having that collaborative relationship with the tool provider or the managed service, whoever's implementing it for you. Go on, Lauren, put us out of our misery. What is step 3, your third bit of advice?
So my third bit of advice is security, and it's a hot topic for all organizations, and it's probably something that we in ITAM dread, the word security, because security teams stop us from doing absolutely everything. But actually we do need to worry about it, because this software, this ITAM solution, is your eyes and ears to your whole estate. So it's widely spread across your organization. It should be touching everything in your environment, so you need to make sure that it's secure. So when you're reviewing your different options, you need to be looking out for those accreditations, those certifications. What software vulnerability issues has the solution had? You need to be checking all that off, because these are the questions that are going to come straight from your security team. So if you can't answer them straight away, it's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, agreed. And I think the tool itself as well, right, when looking at the features and what it can do, I mean, it should be default out of box anyway, but the ability to see like unsupported software, when the vendor stopped the support, being able to see like flags like malware, spyware, Trojan, file sharing, that kind of stuff, being able to flag those within the GUI as well, so you can see, who the repeat offenders are. And come on, let's be honest, I know firsthand, we work together. We absolutely loved going after people that had stuff that they shouldn't have installed on there. All the file sharings, the BitTorrents, whatever. As soon as you saw one of them come up in the tool, bam, high exclamation mark email, CC insecurity, WTF are you doing?
Yeah, absolutely. And, it doesn't matter what type of software, you need to be on ensuring that you're looking at this sort of stuff. So that includes your ITAM vendor solution. That doesn't bypass it just because it's looking at the rest of your estate, because that would make it hypocritical.
Whoa.
You need to make sure that your ITAM solution is in line with all your security processes that you put together for all your other software.
In terms of obviously the security of what the tool can show you from the unauthorized software, etc. But yeah, the actual security of the tool itself. I'm guessing then, going back to point number 2 about it being collaborative, time to value and stuff, you're involving your security teams early on anyway, aren't you, right? To make sure they're doing the checks on that.
Absolutely. But, before you even get to the road of security, if they don't have accreditations and certifications, you kind of a question whether it's worth even going down that road.
Yeah.
So you need to be looking at these up front. And that, yes, that is going to halt your, deployment and your even purchasing of the software. So, you also need a vendor who can provide answers to all your security questionnaires at the drop of a hat. Does the vendor have all their ducks in a row in terms of their security processes, that when you send over something, they're not going to be scared by it?
Very good point. It's always a bit of a worry, isn't it, when you send over a security questionnaire and it's like 2 weeks later and you're like, where is it? Surely this should just be natural for you to go, yeah, we're ISO
27001.
That's the one. Accredited. I mean, it's the same. Completely off topic, but it's kind of the same in the IT asset disposition and disposal world, right? If you got an ITAD provider contact you and say, hey, we can get rid of all your gear, and then you go, awesome, let's see all your security, your environmental, your hazardous waste certificates, and then they go, let me get back to you on that one. It's straight away, you're like, right, off you go, mate. You're obviously not going to be right for the organization. But yeah, you're right, because if an ITAM tool doesn't have that level of accreditation, it doesn't pass your security questionnaires, and ultimately the tool that you've brought in to try and mitigate and manage risk ends up becoming a risk. But Lauren, how is that different rather for hosted services? Is there any difference? Because you're still getting, you're still talking to something, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So there'll be security on both sides. So, you know, there's the hosted versus the on-prem. It's basically the same questions, but can our organization do it for us? You know, and it's also security in terms of access control. You know, who at your vendor can access your data? How well is that restricted? Do you have proper protocols in place that for each of the person that needs to view that data has authority to do so? So there's a lot more in terms of protocols and access control that you'd need to do for a hosted solution.
Very good point. Very good. I mean, yeah, what kind of process, you mentioned process, but what processes or controls do they have in place to regularly review the accounts that are accessing your solution, your data?
Absolutely. You know, and how quickly can they turn that around? If you want someone taken off the account, how quickly can they respond to that?
Nice. And there's all obviously as well with countries, especially like Germany and stuff like that, right? Just going back into the tool itself, and how protective, you know, some regions are by law as well, by law,
Yeah.
But also by just cultural stuff, how protective they are of their own personal data and stuff like that. Yeah, is that something you'd also be asking as part of like security stuff? Is who within my organization, in terms of regions, do I need to reach out and go, oh, hold on, sorry, we're going to have to view some of your data here?
Yeah, so what access rights can you give to your organization? So you have an ITAM solution and you have parts of the ITAM solution you want different departments to see. How well can you lock it down within your organization? Is it a case of just viewer, editor and, you know, full admin rights? Or is it a case that you can actually segregate data so that you can show potentially different, you know, regions their own set of data without showing the rest of the world's data?
Boom, 100%. Or even if you've got a software champion who's responsible for a very specific application, you can give them access to just see the installs and licenses for that particular vendor, as we well know with our software champions. Big up all the software champions out there, brother. Whoa, I don't know how I turned into like a Roman and yo, big yourself up, rude boy.